Shalini ji, I will start with you. Uh, Always the ladies first. Ma'am, how do you see AI becoming the next turning point for the new age CFO? And what problems AI will solve for you, or what problems or challenges for which you are looking AI as a solution?
Good evening, everyone. It's so nice to be here to talk about the buzzword of today on AI. To your question, Alekh, basically, finance function has seen several turning points in the last few decades. First, it was automation, then globalization, and now we are talking about artificial intelligence. Somewhere this particular word or two-letter acronym AI, it's not just about efficiency building for me, but I, as a CFO, look at it as something which can help me build value uh, to my organization. So traditionally, we have been enveloped in the back offices talking about reporting on the past, be it month-end close or your quarter-end close. Now, most of it is now right now handled through automation. So things have become quite faster, and that leaves me a good amount of time to focus on the growth of my organization or growth of my business. Having said that, number two, I would want to talk about agility. The time that my team would have spent around spreadsheets, which you had just mentioned, weeks and months to decide upon a certain pricing, what price I should be giving to a certain channel, which used to take whole amount of time, is now happening within an hour or two. So that is where I stand in my organization today, where AI has been adopted in bits and pieces. Number three, I would say finance function is now becoming a central nervous system for my organization, because the insights that my function provides today is not just around numbers, but also about resilience and how to create long-term value for the business. Just like the speakers who spoke earlier, uh, I come from an FMCG background, and my company, I'm proud to say that we are the pioneers of sachet business, which has affordability as a crux, as a motto or the vision for the organization. So the most important thing for me is to provide the best of prices for my consumer, and that's where the insights that come from, be it demand or be it costing or the operations or the conversion costs or the procurement I do, all these things come into play. I work with a whole lot of data, and the importance of AI, or whatever you call it, in terms of automation, things have become easier. Now, there is a small differentiation between automation and AI I would like to bring about. So there is something called generic AI, and now we are talking about agentic AI. So we are well versed with automations, but are we well versed with AI? I'm not sure. We are still taking the baby steps. We are still in the nascent stage of bringing in AI into various areas. So as I said, being in FMCG, innovation, we thrive on innovation. So that is one area we are working on. So definitely, I would like to keep the other part of it to the next questions, but I don't want to take much of time. But yes, surely we have taken that turn where we are investing on AI, and I'm sure, despite the risks that we might carry or the data governance that would be required, I'm sure we would be able to make best out of this. And I would like to reserve certain other points for the next question, please.
Uh,
Thank you.
Very meaningful, Shalini ji, and on pricing and forecasting part, we will come on later on this discussion. Nitesh, I want to understand from you, uh, being a growing startup, how do you make decisions about which tools or which AI tools will help you, and which business problem you will try to solve with AI? Along with that, how do you make decisions regarding the investment, that this investment will give you a maximum return? Rather, how do you judge on, what is your process of judging the return from the investment which you made on the artificial intelligence?
So it's a bit difficult to actually counter the exact ROI, but what we see as a return is on the productivity. So are we able to reduce our time or create a better bandwidth for the team for the same work that we were doing earlier? So that is number one that we track. So there are a lot of ways, like you can create a lot of bot which helps consumer give a real time feedback, because we are an FMCG company and especially a D2C brand. So those are the ways that we track. It's not exactly the in terms of percentage that ये इतना invest किया तो इतना ROI आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा, but it helps a lot. Like, are you able to reduce some of your manpower cost by helping or by adopting some of the AI features or using AI in a right way, so that you can save some efficiency and increase the productivity as well. So that is how we measure at this point in time. And regarding what all are the AI features we use, there are a lot of bunch of AI features that is there for the different functions of the company. Like, in if we want to have a kind of creative in our brand function, there is a different tool of AI. If you want to have some kind of movies created for your campaign, there is a different Gemini. You can create a lot of website tools by creating using a AI. So there are host of AI tools right now, which we have a list, and definitely we do that internally, and that is how we create. So it's not only finance, but how we are adopting AI across the function in our organization that matters to us most.
Meaningful. And Rajesh ji, I have same question to you with regards to the with regards to the healthcare sector, like specifically in healthcare, uh, how you are using AI, both in the core healthcare and as well as in the finance team of your company.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for me being here. Actually, this is a very good question when we talk about automation, or the madam had said AI and automation both are different. So what we have done, we have taken a project of digital transformation in our organization. So it covers operations, as Nitesh said. It covers finance, and it also covers the medical part as to the medical equipments and all, what AI can do about it. So it is a very long drawn process. It is not simple. If you want to identify the processes where you can put AI, first and foremost, it would start from a hospital point of view, right from the touch points of patients to the time it leaves the hospital. So what we did basically with one of the consultancy company, the we started finding out points where we can do automation as well as where the AI can be helpful. So for us, AI is mostly where the processes are repetitive, where in most of these hospitals the processes are repetitive, which are uniform, where there is a patient touch point, where we can reduce time for the patient. For finance, definitely the audit, the internal audit, where we want to develop tools where there's no tool available in the market, but we want to develop a tool where there are similar kind of transactions with similar people doing. So what are the outliers? Based on that, we can have a programming and a tool for that. In the back-end finance, we can say more on the AP, AR, where we can use automation for all these. And finally, on the medical part, there's a lot of research which is happening where, based on large number of datas, many medical, basically you can say radiology reports could be predicted, and it is a lot of research is going on, where one day, based on the various data available, the outcomes of a particular person without a doctor could be ascertained. So these are the areas, bigger areas, which we have found in our organization to work upon. So it is a journey which we have started 1 year back to identify. So we are now in the process of putting wherever is possible, required, and which is cost effective also. Thank you.
I noted your points, Rajesh ji, and I will come back to you again. Uh, Raghav is a technology service provider. Uh, I started with talking about the cash flow, missing cash flow. Uh, how do you see CFOs managing cash flows, compliance, and growth planning with AIs? And what are the popular tools which you are suggesting to the CFOs that help them solve their purpose and gives them maximum efficiency and returns?
Sure. In fact, I would probably take a step back and say this, right? Irrespective of what the problem statement in finance function is, it's foundationally data, right? If you are able to solve the data problem correctly across the organization, ensure the data is correct, clean, reconciled, all of it, 70% of the work is all done there. So any problem statement you pick up, we talk to, probably I personally talk to 50, 60 CFOs every month as part of our business activities. Everybody still struggles largely with the data problem and the amount of time that goes in reconciliations and, probably transformation of data and things like that. So I think the fundamental problem that everybody needs to address is the data layer itself, right? Ensuring all your data comes into one single place. Now, what's happening with that is that now with the kind of advancements that are there on the AI front, typical standalone tools will help you solve one problem statement. For example, if you have reconciliation, then you probably go and pick up a reconciliation tool, or you pick up an AR tool if AR is your problem, or an AP tool if AP is your problem, or book closure tool if that's a problem. That is changing fundamentally as we speak. Now, platform approach is what is evolving. I think everybody here needs to understand, this change, because unless you understand the platformization that's happening, you would not be able to invest in the right kind of tool. What a platformization is nothing but ability of a company to solve multiple problem statements from one single solution is what platformization in simple terms, right? So I would say ensure, because you invest in tools for tomorrow, not for today. So ensure any tool that you pick up helps you in solving multiple problem statements. At the same time, the depth in getting the data, it's not just structured data, right? It's always going to be a lot of unstructured data that finance teams would depend on. For example, tons of PDF files that would come in the form of, say, invoices, or tons of contracts that would come in. A lot of times you will have to go to GST platforms and file your data, right? It will not come to you as a simple via a simple integration. So a bunch of these aspects needs to be considered. You solve the problems holistically. Look at companies that are taking a platform approach. Only then you are investing, for the future, which is the investments that you make today would be still reliable, should still be relevant probably 3 to 5 years from now. Otherwise, you would invest quite a lot, for short-term benefits again, which you will regret eventually. So I would say think long-term, think platform approach, and first ensure you solve the data problem and data quality problem to start with, and then pick up more AI use cases on top of it.
I copied your points, Raghav, and a similar question to you as well, Alok. Uh, Many CFOs worry about cost and ROI when adopting new tech solutions. So, how you as a tech solution providers help CFOs to make decision that this particular tool or this particular AI adoption is finally viable as well as strategically impactful?
So for me, the most important thing is that whether the tool that is being adopted or has been implemented, is it helping in maintaining the work-life balance in the finance team? Or in another way, whether it is improving the productivity of the team or not, right? It could be anything. It could be a generative AI. It could be agentic AI. It could be it could be under data processing, or it could be a AI wrapper on the automation also. So it can be anything that you want to have. And the one tool that I feel that can take care of all those things through a platform approach would be a board foresight and signals, which comes with the early warning system. It comes with the ability to do check the overall forecasting accuracy. What is more important is that it gives you the results at the real time. Not only to this, the approach that you have highlighted, what should be the approach? The first approach would be strategic alignment. Are we taking the right use case or not? Okay, so finding out the use case is very important. Once we identify the use case, then the second important step is data preparedness. what is the readiness of the data, what is the quality of the data. If that is not being corrected or implemented properly, then the entire solution will fail. And the third important thing is time to solution. Gone are the days when we say that, okay, we'll take 6 months, 9 months, or 3 months to do it. Now we have to do it in weeks, if not days. So time to solution is very important. And then the change management around it. Once we have this, then we will have the KPIs to measure what are the trends and what are the KPIs required to have the overall ROI. And then obviously, as I highlighted first, if we are improving the productivity, then obviously they can do and focus more on the insights, more on the analysis side of it, and overall productivity can be increased in terms of their work-life balance as well. Thank you.
Many meaningful points from our speaker in terms of where they are using AI and like at what stage they are, and also in terms of ROI of AI. Now I would like to discuss two critical aspects of AI and which CFOs generally worry about. First is about the reliability of the result that is coming out of AI, and second is about the data sensitivity. The data which CFOs have is highly sensitive. So how do you ensure that your data you are sharing with AI gets protected and is not used for some or the other reasons which you will like to avoid? Shalini ji, I will like to start with you.
Right. Let me share my experience before I answer your question directly. See, the AI journey started in my organization a year back. Okay, so it all started with raising questions to ChatGPT in general. If this is the scenario, what could be the outcome? If this is the context, what should I be doing in a particular circumstance? So this is how it all started, and it was not at the bottom level or at the mid management, but it all started from the at the board level or at the CEO level. So mine is a family-led private company. So fortunately, the promoter, Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, is an avid lover of AI, I would say. So every day, every hour, he encourages every team member to utilize this particular tool and make best usage. So having started that way, the primary questions we all had was what exactly we were supposed to take advantage of. In the sense, we were all used to dashboarding, we were talking about automations, all the accounting part, reporting, be it audit, pattern recognition, red flagging, compliance, all that we are aware. There are ready-made tools available in the market which can help us address all these routine stuff. Now, when it comes to insights, that is where it all started. So every one of us had a different interpretation of a particular data, and we wanted to understand which would be the right one for a particular circumstance. That is where we all started looking into a ChatGPT. We started with ChatGPT, and funny or whatever, but it gave random answers to each one of us. And then the idea was to drill down further. It was like a conversation, one-to-one conversation as you and I would be having. So that is how the conversation started with that. And it went to such a depth that we didn't realize, or at any point in time, we wouldn't have got such kind of information on a particular subject, which it gathered from across the world and gave in front of us. So that is when we understood the depth of using this tool. Now, whether we are using the inputs that came from that conversation or not, that's a different question. But the way the interaction happened, and at some point in time, it said, well, this is the final answer that I can give you. Not even God can answer your question. So that is the level of drilling we went into. Now, so having said that, Whether ChatGPT is the final answer? No. There are every day, just like we have a turning point in finance, even in technology, every day something new is keeping on coming up. As I said in the first answer, innovation being the most important aspect for FMCG, we started using enterprise version of a particular AI tool where relatively, as one of our speakers mentioned, the data is relatively cleaner within our R&D function. And they started making use of this particular tool with very restricted access, with no public or I would say it's a privacy control, access control environment. Things were shared in that tool, and the outcome we got within a span of the last 7-8 months, my goodness, we would have got almost 100 to 120 patented products in our fragrances, or be it in our personal care products. The kind of ideas that our team could have come up using the information from these tools was dramatic, I would say. So that is one use case which we have in a very protected and in a controlled environment, especially while finance is one sensitive area, R&D for an FMCG is the most protected area, I would say. So there, to the question of ROI again, so right now we are in the investing phase. Yes, ROI we found in automation. In AI, how we are going to achieve that ROI is something we need to wait and watch. But definitely, from the long-term perspective, it is definitely useful for us. Having talked about innovation, again coming to GTM aspect of it, where the consumer inputs matters a lot for a company like ours. The tastes, the preferences, the pricing points, to an extent that we have started looking at the per capita income of a particular town. All these data points coming through our consumer insights AI tool, which is helping us in building a scenario where the right price could be given to a particular consumer, not just in an urban location, but also in a rural location. So that's the advantage that I'm getting right now, be it in terms of the right pricing and keeping the right product at the right shelf, which again matters most to a consumer. If I go for my favorite product, if the shelf is empty, definitely my bond with the brand is going to come down. So that is something which we are prioritizing. We are building tools where we can talk about or predict the purchasing aspect of a particular location or a particular channel. That is one use case, I would say, where it is helping us significantly. And from the finance, wherever money is, finance has to be there. So it's not just about the finance function. I play a pivotal role in every decision where the money goes out. So that way, innovation has brought me newer products. GTM has brought in more volumes at the right price. As I said, affordability is the most important crux for my organization or for my industry. That is something which has helped me. The tool has helped me a lot in predicting these things. So that is one use case I would talk about, and you talked about the security. As I said, data shouldn't be put in public AI tools. To be frank, each of our team members or each of the employee in our organization has been given access to ChatGPT, but then there are stricter rules where the company data wouldn't go into those public forums, and so that the training wouldn't happen basis my data. Access controls have to be put in place for sure, and data governance framework has to be really, really clear, and enterprise version is something which has to be utilized if we are to use our own data there. So,
meaningful points, Shalini ji. Nitesh ji, like I will try to understand from you, like how do you ensure that your data is protective and your sensitive data is not misused while using AI? Or rather, it will be great if you can share any example or or a case study where your data has got misused due to AI, or rather you protected successfully the misuse of your data. So all options are open for you.
No, it's a tough data protection is tough to have, especially right now in the AI. Everyone is kind of experimenting right now, mostly on the chat GPT part. But what we generally do is if there is any kind of sensitive data, there is a structure called memory in the AI. So very sensitive data, even if we use, we delete those memories first. Then that is number one. But generally, what we prefer is we put simple Excel or kind of converting into the word into the chat GPT in order to analyze something, but we do not put any kind of abbreviation to any kind of data which discloses the kind of nature and the name of the organization and the brand. So data is common everywhere. If you use 2000, it doesn't matter कि 2000 है क्या, मतलब 2000 crore भी हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है. So that is how you have to play smart while you are using the data in the AI. And then there are definitely the stricter rules how we do not have access to every people in the organization when it comes to AI. There are stricter rules, stricter policies, whom to use, what kind of data to be used where. That is how we are protecting right now. But yes, it's still on the evolution and the kind of experimentation stage, how you protect the data in a full way from ChatGPT.
Meaningful points, Nitesh and Rajesh ji. Both Shalini and Nitesh highlighted the risk of data and about points related to reliability of the answers or the solutions coming from AI. Now I will try to understand, apart from these two, what are the other challenges or other risks you see which are associated with the use of AI, and especially with your sectors.
Thank you. Actually, the data part and the ROI part. First of all, when we go for any AI, which partly everybody had explained about the data. So, foremost and most important thing about is the common source of data, a single source of truth. So that you can say as a risk also when you go for an AI, when you have reached half stage. So when we started, we thought that accumulation of data or having a data at one place is very simple. But there are datas in the form of photographs, there are datas in form of Excel, PDF, and there should be a single source of truth. Single source of truth in the sense there should be one data connecting to all. For example, in our case, it's a patient registration number. So when you want to do some AI futuristic kind of data analysis on this, first of all, it should connect right from every reports to the right from every OPD or every IPD what a patient has done, then only it can be done. So it is a very difficult task. In IT terms, they say it as a data lake. So that data lake preparation itself is a big challenge, and it is a risky proposition before we take up any AI project. Now then ROI, that's again a risk. We see so many things coming up. Then you have to see against where is the improvement of processes happening. Secondly, where is there reduction of manpower? Is it happening or is just because the world is talking about AI? Third is that since we are into this journey of AI, the other risk is that it's very costly. It is not very cheap because there are no ready-made tools as such available in the market. So you have to develop, you have to devote time. It is a time-consuming process. There are certain processes where a single platform now is being talked about, where AP, AR, and all those things are there in a single platform. But there are multiple vendors for various platforms. So this is one of it. As far as data protection for a healthcare, it's a big challenge because the data of any person of his or her health is always a big issue with DPP coming. So what we have done from the risk point of view is that we have taken ISO to 27001 certification. Then we have also put our data into SOC. Third thing which we have done is that most of the hospitals do NABH audits. So now there is a digital NABH also, where they also assess about your data privacy and what level of controls you have, access controls and all those things. So these are the measures which we are taking as far as data is concerned. In healthcare, data was always a big challenge because it's a personal data, healthcare data, and with AI plus the new law which is coming up, it's a big challenge for us. Thank you.
Raghav, so data protection, reliability, CFOs mentioned all their challenges in front of you. So as a technology service provider, how do you convince CFOs about your product, that this is product is reliable, and how hard is to convince the new age CFOs to like adopt a particular product? This is my question to you. Rather, I will want you to share a story or a case study, something of a successful execution of a problem which CFO has come to you and you have executed and delivered a satisfying result to the CFOs.
Sure, sure. Maybe, again, given data is a very, very confidential aspect, that too we deal with financial data, so that's even more confidential. Having said that, there are standard practices, around getting certification from a tool standpoint. Could be our platform is, for example, SOC 1, SOC 2 certified, GDPR, ISO, all of those are one level of comfort that everybody would get. I think the second level of comfort that we have seen is that very early on, if you're able to get the right kind of customers, right, who are really logos that others would look up to, and then would not ask a lot of questions. I think that very honestly helped us as well, given the stage at which we are in, right. We have a couple of Fortune 50 companies as our early customers. We were grilled big time on the InfoSec part, for example, right? And once we could successfully onboard them, once they could see the results, when we went to next set of customers, right, the journey was much, much smoother, because everybody understands when you work with company X, which is, probably one of the leading Fortune 50 companies, most of the InfoSec part would be taken care and things like that. So having said that, yearly upgrade of all these certifications would be very, very important for anybody to get the confidence. That's one aspect on it, on the general data front. But purely coming to, on the AI front, very, very honestly, I think that's still an evolving thing. Right? What we have seen most of the companies do, particularly if I take our customers examples, enterprises want all the data to be hosted in their infrastructure only, so that nothing flows out of their infrastructure, which means confidentiality is all maintained, irrespective of how beautiful a particular platform is. They want to ensure data is all hosted in their infrastructure itself. Now deploying AI solutions within customers' infrastructure, which also means enterprise grade infrastructure, has become the norm. A lot of SLM models are also being talked upon, I think, which is where a lot of investments have been going on. We haven't still seen a lot of success cases yet, right, globally as well. But that's a wave, right, from LLM to SLM is where the whole industry is moving, which means a lot of data, customers' data, getting stored in or getting processed in customers' infrastructure itself, and then using enterprise grade licenses. On top of it, our platform being all the from an enterprise standpoint, again having all the SOC related certifications and GDPR related certifications, give a lot of comfort to customers. On AI front in particular, I would want to re-emphasize that it's a journey that we are all going through. It's getting probably it'll get clearer maybe over the next 6 to 12 months. But having said that, at the moment there are only baby steps taken from an implementation standpoint. So we'll see how that gets uncovered.
Alok, how much do you agree with Raghav? Since you are also a solution provider. Also, like I want to understand from you, like what are the most common worries that CFOs tell you while adopting the AI, and what solutions you have for CFOs, and are the solution different for different stages of the company, whether it's the startup, mid-age, and the listed companies. Does solution differ for each of them?
Sometimes, yes, the solution do differ for a mid-sized company or a startup company with big organization, but the difference is coming down, right? There are certain solutions which are built for a smaller companies, but the bigger organizations are also adopting it, and vice versa as well. Okay, as highlighted by the few panelists, in terms of your data production, the things that we have to focus is on infosec certification, stricter policy, sometimes data masking, sometimes enterprise grade solutions that we have to adopt. For me, the most important thing is that whenever we add any technology, it has to be a wholesome technology. I highlighted in the previous discussion also, it needs to be it needs to have a generative AI, it needs to have the visualization, you should be able to do top down, bottom up, and that too within the fraction of seconds. Okay, and at the end you need to get a real time financial analytics, and for this a single platform will always add to the business community.
The time is up, but still, any question from the audience? Yeah, can we have mic, please?
How do you look at future of finance with AI coming in? So till now, if you look at a middle level finance or a entry level finance, the core job is more around gathering data, cleaning data, transforming data, sharing those insights with the leadership team or senior team members. With AI coming now, most of the things would be, these tools are capable to handle all of that. So how do you see will the finance organizational function evolve in future?
So with with the kind of data insight and AI, what we see as a finance is more from the decision led kind of profile. Right now, what we are more accustomed to is closing the books, managing the compliance controls, or you can say that we are acting like a mirror of the past, right? So, how using this data and the insights and generate a kind of decision that we can foresee for the and as an enabler to the business growth, that is what we see, that as a finance we will be able to kind of drive in a much better and efficient way.
I would just add one more point. So we will become more consumer facing. So we will be also working with the marketing team or the sales team in brand building. So far the insights or whatever inputs that finance would be giving, they would all be restricted to the internal stakeholders. But now with real time or a dynamic decision making coming into play with utility of AI, we also become front facing, and the data comes in and out for external stakeholding as well in terms of consumer. The ripples are seen outward also, not just internal.
So, before we wrap up, I would like to have one last question and a one-liner sort of thing from each one of you. Uh, any bold prediction on where, in 5 years, what will be AI-powered CFO look like according to you? One-liner sort of quick answer sort of thing to each one of you.
Somebody recently asked, a tech person said AI will be a strategy, and from business or finance, we said it would only be a tool. So that debate will continue, and we see it as a co-pilot for us in navigating through the VUCA environment. So AI will definitely be a co-pilot for us from the finance function point of view.
So Nitesh ji, from where I started, will AI definitely tell you in like next 5 years, you have a pending cash flow or your cash flow is pending for from last 6 months? Will it tell you? Do you expect?
Lot of evolution is yet to come. So ये तो आ ही जाएगा. So but what I believe is in AI will enable us to be a transition from mirror to the telescope for the future. So that will be the role that AI will enable the CFOs to play on.
Rajesh ji.
I appreciate two, three things. One is that many things which we are developing today in various sectors or various industry, it would stabilize somewhere, and we'll have a ready-made tool like Tally available to put and run. So this is my dream that this should happen across industry so that it is tested. Maybe 5 years down the line this happens. And secondly, for CFO, I would say that should be an additional designation as a digital CFO, because today we are co-piloting our CIO, and the moment it comes, calls for risk and returns. So you have to be there with the CIO of the company, and you could have an additional role of a digital CFO kind of a designations in future.
And Raghav, with more innovation, do you expect uh, the problems to also rise for you to provide solutions, or do you expect that the AI-powered CFOs will manage it better in next 5 years?
No, undoubtedly, it will be managed better. I also expect already there's an increase in trend where a lot of CFOs are becoming CEOs. I think that trend is only going to get accelerated. Given finance teams generally have very good sense around risk, business models, and things like that. I think one prediction is probably you'll see a lot more CFOs becoming CEOs very soon, and much lesser problems, I would say.
Alok ji, final and same question to you in just one line.
I feel better productivity, faster insight, and informed decision making.
Thank you so
Just
much.
one last word.
Yeah.
Human judgment will always prevail. Irrespective of whatever comes in terms of AI, human judgment will be the final say. The end of the day.
We started this day on a similar note where the ICI president said the artificial intelligence will never be able to replace the original intelligence. So maybe that can be the concluding remark. Thank you so much
Thank
to
you.
all our speakers and to our audience as well.